You are listening to I Am Refocused podcast with your host, Shemaya Reed. This podcast is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. Now, let's tune into today's podcast.
This is I Am Refocused podcast, and today we have an awesome show for y'all. Today we are talking to Nikki Speer. She is the owner and founder of Redefined Courage. How are you doing today, ma'am?
I am doing wonderful, wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. I'm going to tell just a little bit about yourself. Miss Nikki, she is a wife and mom of 3 kids, and she has been doing this Redefined Courage, and we're going to learn about that today. So if you can, Nikki, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure, absolutely. I am 39 years old, and I have 3 kids, and one is 16. He is driving, which is a little scary. And I have a daughter who's 12 and a daughter who's 11. I am in the process of doing some writing out my story. And like you said, founder of Redefined Courage, and just very, very excited to do what I do.
And you have a story that birthed this organization that you started. Tell us a little bit about that story and how it put you in a position to do this service for women.
Sure, absolutely. Well, since I was probably about 19, I've heard the words breast cancer in my family, with one of my aunts being diagnosed. And then after that, many years later, my grandmother and then my aunt and then my mother all diagnosed with different forms of breast cancer. In that, I just, it's always made me a little frustrated hearing the words and seeing what people have had to walk through, especially 4 beautiful women that I love. And so October of 2015, when my mom decided to stop all treatment, knowing that it wasn't going to give her any more life, she, with the help of prayer and doctors and all of that, she decided to stop. And I went to visit her because I'm in North Carolina and she was in New York. And like she always did, she wanted to go shopping and find some things for her to wear. And she was just fun like that, just always wanting to do things together. And but we walked out of the mall and she had nothing, and she didn't feel beautiful, and she felt less than a woman just because of all that cancer had basically ravaged her body. And I promised her that day that I would design clothing that she could wear. And with that promise, the words came out of my mouth, and I had really no business saying it, but I wanted to make my mom feel better. And with that promise, I started to draw and just really felt a nudge from the Lord to continue on this mission to provide clothing for women that are starting out their journey with surgery.
And you mentioned your story that you had pain in your past. What were some of the ways you dealt with that?
I definitely think in my past, I would self-medicate, alcohol, drugs, other people, anything that would blame. Blame was a big thing for me, just really not holding on to my faith, but looking out there in the world saying, why me? Like, why us? Why our family? Why did this have to happen? Just really questioning all of that, definitely not finding the good in circumstances.
And when you decided to launch Redefine, when was that moment, and what was the early stages like after you shortly launched it?
So April of 2006, we actually became a business, and that was after many samples of clothing, because in the clothing industry, it's not just you draw a picture and then all of a sudden there was a lot of research that happened within that, trying to figure out fabrics and trying to really get people to work with you. You're just this newbie on the block, and nobody, really knows you and what you're capable of or what your dreams are. And so that's really when we just became a business and started on this journey journey of finding a manufacturer and learning each step of the way.
And when it comes to designing the clothing, the T-shirts, were you working solo, or did you have any input from any side help from anybody else?
Yeah, at first when I started designing, it was just my simple drawing on a piece of paper. But then as I started to get more involved, there was a mom that stayed at home and said, I know how to sew. And then I put a call out to a local textile place at a college, and they were more than willing to put the job up. And so a young lady came alongside of me and started helping me because I don't even know how to sew. Like I said, it was just a dream. And I drew a simple thing, and then I had to ask for help along the way.
And on your website, redefinedcourage.com, you have a statement on the homepage, gifting hope one post or shirt at a time. Do you have a story that comes to mind where you gave a shirt to a woman that, you wanted to give to? What was that reaction like? What was some of the feedback that the women that you're helping are giving to you?
Sure. That's a fantastic question, and one that I love. I can remember, the first woman that received a shirt. It was gifted to her by her pastor from a church, and it was given to her in a beautiful bag, and she opened it up and she said, what is this? And unbuttoned it and realized that there was 4 pockets for her drains to be held. When you have a breast surgery like this, you usually come home with drain bulbs, which collect the fluid. And so with that, she was so excited that she would have a shirt that was comfortable, that was buttoned up, because your mobility is definitely hindered as far as raising your arms super high or putting a shirt over your head. So I tried to think of all those things, and she was just so thankful that she received something so practical at just a very difficult time when you've been told you have breast cancer and now you're coming out of the surgery. That sometimes can make you almost feel less than a woman or unattractive or not beautiful, and maybe not even thought about. Everyone has a different story of what they're going through, but that one really touched me because after that, she called and emailed me, and she is one of our models on our website named Suzanne.
And a lot of these women that are able to connect with you and your organization, they're almost part of like a tribe. So kind of share our audience, what can they expect? You kind of share us a little bit with that story, but what can they expect, especially someone who might know someone that can definitely benefit from what you're doing with your movement?
Sure, absolutely. I think that what you can expect is just, I try to literally connect with every woman that emails us because I do feel a personal connection to it, and it's my passion in life. So I will email you back if you share your story with me. I will gladly send you a post-op shirt for free. And that only happens with the gifting and donations of generous people that allow us to do this. And so, yes, you will be a part of our family. I have a prayer list on my wall, and I write your names down specifically, and you will become basically part of our tribe, our family, and we will pray you through it and love on you and encourage you as you go through whatever you may be facing with your diagnosis.
You mentioned earlier in the segment, before we end up wrapping up this first half of the show, you mentioned about keeping your promise. Tell us why, in your own feedback, why is it so important for you to keep your promise?
I guess for me, when I spoke those words to my mom, I will design a shirt for you, I really had no idea the impact of that. And for me, specifically keeping this promise, unfortunately, it couldn't be for my mom because she passed just 3 short months after that. But now I realize keeping that promise has affected hundreds of women, and we hope thousands of women to wear these shirts that will help them to feel loved and hopeful in a very, very difficult time. So I think it's extremely important to keep your promise, to say, hey, I'm going to do this, and the follow through is just incredible, and how you can help.
And with your kids, what are some of the things that they've been expressing to you, watching you make these T-shirts? Have they ever asked questions like, what's this for? And what more, or what are some of the things that they do know about your organization, Redefined Courage?
They are absolutely so proud of me. They usually try to tell me almost every day, because almost every day I share a story at the dinner table of another woman that we've connected with, another woman that we were given hope to, or another woman that I prayed with on the phone or over email. And they are super proud that we could continue their grandmother's legacy, because they just absolutely adored her. And to know that we're doing something to help others, that there's no more blame, there's no more why us and all of that. It is now we have a purpose and a mission, and we are hopeful that someday we will be able to give back to different people that are starting these research so that more women can live longer and healthier, better lives. So we are making a difference, and they are proud.
And we are talking to the founder of Redefined Courage, Miss Nikki Speer. And before we take our break, I just want to give a teaser, something we can talk about in the next half. Some of the obstacles that you might have faced starting Redefined, because we all know any organization, it doesn't just go in the microwave and come out perfect. So we want to touch on that and a little bit about faith and some more things that we can discuss on the second half of the show. You are listening to I Am Refocused podcast. Don't touch that iPhone, smartphone. We're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, many platforms. We will be right back.
Welcome to Rockafellas Barbershop. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I will be blessed and be glad in Him. Today I want to introduce myself. My name is Rico Rodriguez at Rockafellas Barbershop here in San Antonio, Texas, 1733 Babcock Rd. My phone number is 210-782-5188. And again, we do walk-ins on Sundays. You are listening to I Am Refocused podcast on iHeartRadio. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.
Does your website need more traffic? Well, visit overflowcafe.com today. They make websites popular, and over 41,000 people use their service to gain more customers. They are winning our business. What about you? Visit overflowcafe.com today.
Hey, this is I Am Refocused podcast. Welcome back from the break. We are talking to Nikki Speer. She is the founder, owner of Redefined Courage. And just before we let you go, we wanted to get into this next question about what was some of the struggles, some of the obstacles that you faced while running this organization, and how did you overcome those?
Oh, that is a great question. I think from the beginning of when I felt like the Lord was prompting me to draw this shirt and really keep my promise to my mom, I faced different things. People not calling me back, people saying, I mean, could this really happen? Aren't there other people that do this? To choosing totally wrong fabrics and making it not soft and comfortable. And with all of that, I literally made so many mistakes financially, contacting the wrong people, just so many things. And to be honest with you, I knew from the beginning that these shirts were always supposed to be for free. But I opened a business anyway. And for 2.5 years, I tried to do that on my own, knowing that the Lord had told me to give them away for free, that we had been blessed, that He was going to make it work. And I chose to try to make money thinking that that's what I was supposed to do. Like when you have an idea, you start a business. And so in that, I feel like I made a huge mistake, just starting a business and not listening to my true self and knowing what this really was supposed to be about. So just facing those obstacles, which now, almost 3 years later doesn't seem huge, but then in the midst of no phone calls and wrong fabric and things taking time and waiting for people to respond to you, it felt like an eternity, but I know that God was with me every step.
There was a recent post I saw on your Instagram, and I did my homework. It was a very interesting statement. There's a picture and a caption underneath. One of the women that probably used your service, I'm sure, with a t-shirt. She stated that I carry cancer, but I don't let cancer carry me. That's a very profound statement. What are some of the things you consistently learn from the women that come to you for these t-shirts?
I think the one thing that I learn is strength in the midst. These women are fighters. These women do not give up. I have seen this in my own family. I have walked through this with many women, and they just do not give up. Their strength inspires me. And really their passion to help others. I see that they don't want another woman to go this alone. And so really that tribe and that togetherness and that friendship that's formed just with a simple shirt called Hope, or just being connected with other women that have had breast cancer, whether it's the same as yours or a different kind, or maybe they're going even through different treatments. There's something that keeps them connected and bonded. And I really feel like it's their strength to walk through this and fight it.
And you mentioned earlier prior to recording that you are a woman of faith. How does that play a role with keeping your balance on this journey with this organization?
I think my faith has really helped me walk through the grief that I faced. Starting something as big as this and helping others, facing something that I lost my mom to, and my aunt and my grandmother. I've really faced a lot of grief with that, and with grief can come major depression. And I really feel like the Lord knows me so well, and my faith is so strong now that He was holding me. He gave this to me during this time so that I would not be like I was before. I would not blame, that I would look to Him, and that I would gain strength and wisdom from Him, and He would carry me through, and He would help me be an encourager and an encouragement to these women that walk into my life.
And as we talked about the obstacles that you faced but overcame while running the organization, what are some of the favorite things that you have enjoyed the most during the process of meeting new women? Because you're not just meeting a person, you're meeting somebody who needs encouragement and support. What's the favorite process that you've experienced?
I think from the beginning of an email or a phone call or a DM on Instagram, from that moment, the way that they accept me, even though I am not a cancer survivor or thriver, I'm actually a Previvor. So I've had my own double mastectomy preventatively because of my family history. They take me in like I'm one of their own, and they actually, I think I'm doing something for them, but they actually do something for me. They walk with me through this, and they tell me this is a great idea, or maybe we should do this differently, or, let's bless this woman that I heard about, and I think for me, that's what it is. Their excitement about what I have created because of a promise to my mom that I spoke is that just inspires me and encourages me and wants me to help and give and do more in so many things. So I think they're really a blessing to me. I'm just here to do the work that I've been called to do, but others really pour into me. And I think that's what I love so much about each of these women. They're just, the strength is undeniable.
And the slogan fits, gifting hope, one post or shirt at a time. When your husband has been, I'm sure, involved in some way, shape, and form, how has he been able to contribute with your organization?
He is probably one of the best encouragers that I have, just a real true man of faith and encouragement. He, when I started Redefined as a business and then closed Redefined as a business and opened as a foundation, he said, don't stop. I know this might be a sad day for you to close it as a business, but this is what God has called you to do. So do it. Do it with all your heart and might and passion. And so man, is he an encouragement, and he works so hard so that I'm able to fulfill this passion. So I can just truly say that he is just a man of great honor and strength and faith, and has really, really helped me along this path.
And this organization is starting to make noise because you can just go to your Instagram, Redefined Courage, and see all the pictures. They speak for themselves.
Thank you.
What's some of the short-term goals that you would like to accomplish for your organization?
Sure. Some short-term goals are really going to our local hospitals here in North Carolina, which we are making a little bit of headway. And so that would really be it's a short-term goal of meeting the needs of the women right here in North Carolina when they walk out of the hospital, that they would have a post-op shirt on, that they would truly have hope when they walked out of the hospital, knowing someone designed this shirt for them for that particular moment.
And what's the one thing that you see that is missing with just the community? Is there maybe any kind of disconnect, or is it just lack of awareness with, as far as like people not knowing more information about how they can help?
Sure. Yeah. I think people think that there's a lot of awareness out there. So like, what could they possibly do? Maybe buy a pink ribbon or buy a pink bracelet, and that will help. I think that there's a lot of awareness out there, but I think now it's time to step up. And that's what I decided to do. And I feel like a lot of people can do. I think a lot of people do want to help. Sometimes they just don't know how or what could make a difference. But to bring light to people that say, I don't know where to give or who to give to. There's a lot of cancer research out there that has done amazing things for my family, that have kept my mom and my aunt and my grandmother around with clinical trials and different things of that nature. But of course, giving to our mission would be wonderful as we gift hope, one post-op shirt at a time.
And say someone wants to do this for a loved one, or someone themselves wants to do it and be a part of this organization, what's the best way that they can connect with you?
The best way is redefinedcourage.com. I'm happy to help you in any way. There's a contact form on there. You can also go on. There's a few places on some of the pages that you can donate. You can donate any amount of money. The shirt does cost $100. And they are for sale, that you could get one for someone. But if you are a cancer survivor, you're having a surgery, please feel free to go on and select a free post-op shirt on that page, and we're happy to help you in that way.
And what words of encouragement will you give to any woman out there who may be facing cancer? What words of encouragement will you give?
Sure. I would say hold on tight. to your tribe. And if you don't have one, please, please connect with us. You are stronger than you know. You can face this. You are a mighty warrior. And as a woman of faith, I know that God is on your side. Whether you believe that or not, he is with you and he is for you. And this is not the end. This is the beginning of healing and hope for you.
And when it comes to your faith, how has your walk, how has it really changed your day-to-day, how you look at life?
Yeah, I think as soon as my mom passed, I didn't know how I was going to get out of bed, but I can tell you that I started a little prayer room in the back of my closet and writing down the names of women that have overcome, have come through surgery, have gone through treatment, who have connected with us and still connect with us. That has deepened my faith in a way that is just, it's insurmountable. I really honestly don't even know how to say it. God has just been, he's been so good, and I have seen myself grow. And that's one thing my family says, that I have grown immensely through this process. And I think that is the joy of all of this, is that my growth will, flows into helping others. And I think that is the strength and the joy that I get from leaning into God and him strengthening me through this, growing me.
And we don't always ask this, but I'll ask for this episode, if you don't mind, if you could just say a short prayer for just anybody who might have a loved one going through this or might be going through this themselves.
Absolutely. Dear Heavenly Father, God, we know that you are mighty and you are strong, and that you can hold these women's hands and hold them upright and tight, Lord God. And we know that you are the great physician and a healer. So I pray that you would just come alongside of them, that you would love on them, that they would know that they are not alone, that they are strengthened, and that this is not the end, God, but this is the beginning of healing and hope and a new life. And Lord, we know that there's beauty in it, and we trust you in this process. In your holy and mighty name, amen.
It's a perfect fitting. Once again, this is I'm Refocused podcast. We are talking to Nikki Speer. You can get more information on redefinedcourage.com. And just like we say on every single show before we close out, keep God first, stay focused, and peace.